Hello everyone! I haven't done a video in a while now on spirituality and health and my health kick and my attempt to become more healthy. I think I said in January that I was going to maybe make a few videos on that topic, and I just kind of never got around to it. The more kind of spiritual practice, kind of tarot elements all kind of took precedence over that. But I thought I would actually just give you a quick update. I might at some point delve more into the connections between health and spirituality, and I might touch on that in this video. But most of all, I just wanted to give you a little bit of an update of how I've been doing and how I've been feeling and that kind of thing. In terms of physical health and fitness and that kind of thing, it's kind of hard for me to remember sometimes how much improvement I really have made, because my life now is just totally different to even how it was a year ago, when I was constantly afraid of becoming sick because I was kind of unwell almost every other week. I would have some form of cold or ailment or whatever. You know, I haven't had to take a day off work in a year, and I really haven't succumbed to any major illnesses in a year. My fitness is like majorly improved. Yoga is like kind of like a slow kind of improvement thing for me, but my running is the major thing. I'm now running 3 times a week, and I'm at a point now, it probably doesn't sound like much to anybody who actually runs, but I'm at a point now where I run 2.5 kilometers, which is I think nearly I have no idea how many miles. 1.5 miles, no, more than that, I'm not sure. I can't remember, without stopping. So that's kind of gradually improving for me as well, but I'm kind of just moving over a plateau with that. Like, I'm kind of at the point now where I feel like I'm quite soon, in the next couple of weeks, going to reach a point where I can actually run 5k and that kind of thing. I kind of have gotten over a big hurdle that I had, that I was struggling to kind of get past. And I mean, the running for me, the major thing with that is just keeping me healthy and keeping my body moving and keeping everything kind of working healthily in my body. I feel like it absolutely flushes my system, and I've got to the point now where I really enjoy moving, which is something that I couldn't have said a year ago. I look forward to going running. I really get into flow when I go running, and even when I'm walking around, I really enjoy the feeling of my body moving. And I definitely think that this is improving my sort of mind-body relationship. I think philosophically, I've been understanding more and more how much that I am my body, that my body and my mind are not two different things, and I'm not sort of trying to just like bully my body with my brain into doing various things. But also physically, I think this is just becoming a lot more evident, because I have more control over my entire body. Yeah, I just enjoy the feeling of being in my body a lot more, because it just feels fitter and healthier, and that is hugely important for my spiritual practice and meditation and things like that, because I just feel more at home. And I'm very definitely getting to that point now where I feel like, yeah, I'm not just stuck in my mind, that my experience is just through my entire body, which is a lot closer to my philosophy of life and things like that, which is really nice. Food wise, I went vegetarian a while back, but that wasn't actually for health reasons. I haven't really been able to come up with many like definitive answers about what the healthiest modes of eating actually are. There are so many varieties of diets out there that people eat, from paleo to raw vegan, or fruitarian, at the opposite end of the spectrum. I definitely don't think that eating lots of meat and protein and fats is the way to go, but I couldn't put my hand on my heart and say that I definitely know that for sure. So the way that I finally decided whether I was going to kind of eat more protein or eat more or not, you know, or have a more high carb diet, was really just an ethical kind of moral thing. I decided that I didn't want to be eating lots of animals, and then eventually I decided not only did I not want to be eating lots of animals, but I didn't want to be eating them at all. So I've transitioned now. I am still eating fish, which I am aware is pretty nonsensical, but I just kind of, that's more of a transitional thing for me. I'm hoping to get to a point where I really don't eat much fish, if at all. But I haven't eaten any meat now in a while, and I also haven't gone vegan. Again, it's a convenience thing, I'll be honest, about the meat and dairy. I think I probably would feel better without them maybe, and ethically I would prefer to eat a plant-based diet, but I have a really tough time with coming up with things to eat. I have a very weird relationship with food, where a lot of food just makes me feel kind of ill. Like it will make me feel kind of physically sick after eating it. I can't eat the same thing very often, or I will start getting sick of it. And when I say sick of it, I mean it will actually make my stomach turn, kind of thing. Which I'm not exactly sure where that comes from. I think it might be related to my experiences with IBS, and just generally not having a good digestive system for quite a lot of years. But I'm hoping that over time that I will come up with more and more recipes that don't involve using any animal produce, and that I'll be able to gradually make a shift to being, you know, mostly vegan. I don't want to be too strict about it, because I do have a tendency to get quite anxious and being quite a perfectionist about things. I think one of the biggest things that I've noticed, and I think this is to do with becoming fitter and healthier, one of the biggest things I've noticed is that I have mostly become calmer and less anxious, but I notice more these days when I'm not calm. I'm starting to really notice triggers for anxiety, and I'm also starting to notice that sometimes I feel like I'm ill, but I know that I'm not, and I know I'm just anxious and tired. And I'm starting to realise that at least some of the time before, when I thought that I was actually sick and genuinely, you know, couldn't get out of bed or had to just sit on the couch all day because I actually just couldn't move, a lot of that was actually probably tiredness and anxiety, and probably tiredness through anxiety. So that's something that has really come to head, I think, through a couple of things, but definitely being fitter and healthier, like eating better food and moving my body more, has sort of made me more aware of that in me, and made me more aware of the difference between being tired and anxious, being tired and sick, being anxious and sick. It's kind of, definitely made me more in tune with how my body works, and recognizing those anxious feelings when they arise, and those really unhealthy kind of thought patterns and stuff like that. I think meditation has had a huge bearing on that as well, and my spiritual practice in general, because my spiritual practice kind of ties in a lot with a lot of inner work and self-development work and that kind of thing. So I've just been becoming more aware of my psyche and also of my body in general. I did talk about that a bit in a video recently, which was called Is Following Your Passion Stressing You Out? Something like that. Because for a while there, I will be honest, Heart Story was stressing me out more than it was bringing me joy. It was still bringing me joy, but more often than not, you know, I was falling into this trap of just feeling stressed out about it, and just not enjoying things even that I had been enjoying doing a couple of weeks or months previously. I talked about a couple of strategies that I kind of took on to sort of try to address that. I've also recently realised that I've actually just been pushing myself physically and mentally too hard as well. It can be quite easy to do that when you're working for yourself, because if you're working a 9-to-5 job for somebody else and they're paying you by the hour, you kind of turn up and you do as much work as you feel you can get done in the day, hopefully. In my situation anyway, obviously some people are under huge amounts of pressure in their workplace and they have to put in ridiculous amounts of hours, but in the kind of like low stress job that I work when I do my part-time work for the organisation that I work for, it's very like low stress, and you kind of go in, and I don't generally have like a huge workload. There's definitely you know, we're definitely very busy, but I can kind of just go in and I know that I'm there for a certain amount of time and I get done what I can get done in that time. And to be honest, I'm probably not as efficient as I could be, because 8 hours is kind of too long for me to be sitting at my desk working. So I will just inevitably kind of switch off after a while and, you know, just not be constantly focused, because it's just a bit too much. And I realised that when I was doing my own work, I was trying to work within those parameters. I was trying to work within those hours, and I felt like because the normal workday is between 9 to 5, that I should be doing 8 hours of productive work on my own, on Heart Story, in my own spare time. So essentially I was this might work for some people, but essentially I was finding myself sort of feeling tied to the desk for certain hours, feeling very anxious when I missed parts of those hours, And it all sort of spiraled into feeling overworked and feeling stressed and feeling like I really just wasn't enjoying it anymore. I was spending huge amounts of time kind of worrying over different schedules that I might try out. I felt like I would just hit on the perfect schedule that would make me feel better and that would work for me, that would alleviate my anxiety. So recently I've decided to revert to a tactic that I did sort of try before, which is working to a to-do list rather than set hours. And the idea is that I give myself a to-do list that will take what I estimate will be anything between 3 to 5 hours. And basically once I've done that work, then I'm done. But to alleviate any anxiety that I might feel if I only do 3 hours work in a full day, I then allow myself to read after that point. But I've managed to sort of turn the whole thing on its head because I've started to read for the joy of it. I'm definitely reading things that are relevant for, I'm planning on applying for a PhD soon, and I'm reading towards that, but it's all stuff that I'm really, really passionate about, obviously, because I wouldn't be going for a PhD if I wasn't really passionate about the subject area. So essentially I've just allowing myself to read, and that's something I said in my previous video on this as well. Allowing myself to read has actually really, really helped. It's really boosted my enthusiasm about everything again, because I'm just allowing myself that time and space to engage with material that really excites me and gets my mind working and moving and thinking in new ways. But also I'm really enjoying this sort of to-do list system because I'm finding that I'm actually getting more done. I'm not feeling stressed out because I know that I'm getting the important things done every week. The absolute must be dones are getting done. And I'm not sort of allotting that work time for things like answering emails and replying to YouTube comments and reading. That's all stuff that I feel like I will do in my own time because I enjoy doing it, rather than sort of setting out chunks of time and then being like, right, I have to like go away and schedule lots of Facebook posts now. I've sort of been a little bit more relaxed about all that kind of stuff and deciding to just do it in my extra time, which I know there will be a lot of because my dedicated work time has massively shrunk. And honestly, I'm actually getting the same amount of work done anyway because I'm not procrastinating. I'm just sort of going, right, okay, let's do this, and enjoying it so much more. I've been just actually getting really excited about writing newsletters again, and really enjoying writing blog posts, and I've really enjoyed making the last 2 videos that I've just made now. So that's really working for me really well. So I would say that if you are finding yourself stressing out because of that you're setting certain parameters around your working hours and when you're supposed to do things, rather than tweaking a system, consider throwing that system out completely and trying something new, and trying something that seems sort of a little bit counterintuitive for you, or that sounds a little bit scary, because clearly your system isn't working and maybe it's trying to try something new. That's been what I've learned from this. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about. I did watch a video recently by, oh gosh, I don't remember either her name or her YouTube name. I'll link the video before. Anyway, she was talking about diet and spirituality, and she was talking about energy and how she feels, yeah, that her more energetic and the kind of impact that has on ritual and magic and stuff like that. I find it hard to make that distinction because my practice has been developing in tandem with my changes in eating. I definitely feel better not eating meat, but I think it's mostly sort of because I feel more ethical. It's more in line with my ethics. I feel more comfortable, even though I'm not exactly where I want to be with that. It's kind of, that's definitely making me feel good, but yeah, it's hard to tell in terms of path working and meditation, which are kind of the core of my spiritual practice. It's kind of hard to tell how much of an impact things like fitness and healthy eating are having on that, because like I say, the 2 things have been growing in tandem. But I definitely think, actually, more than anything, the main thing that has an impact on all these things is my stress levels. And like I say, my attempts to become more healthy are definitely helping me to address those stress issues and start to come up with strategies for dealing with them, for effectively removing them and looking at the root causes and those kind of things. So it is all sort of gradually improving and developing. I definitely feel like I'm getting more to the lifestyle and to being the person that I want to be, but it's all just sort of developing together, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint like one thing, one cause. I can't point at like yoga and say yoga changed my life because it was like yoga and running and green smoothies and cutting down on meat and, you know, removing meat and starting a proper meditation practice, and, you know, the list goes on. My life has just been in constant flux and change for the last couple of years, so yeah, I might make more videos on this topic if I think of anything else that I want to add, but I think that's everything that I wanted to say for the moment. If you've any good questions about like what I eat and that stuff, feel free to ask, but I kind of feel with that kind of thing that it's really something you need to figure out yourself. I think the only thing that is definite for everyone is like just eat more fresh fruit and veg, and particularly raw fruit and veg. You can't go wrong with that, and beyond that I think it really just is a personal kind of thing as to what will make you feel good and what you ethically how you want to eat, and if eating meat is or isn't something that you feel you should or shouldn't do. I mean, you might be perfectly happy to eat free-range, grass-fed meat. For a while that was something that I did as well, or whatever. So and I'm not denigrating anybody who just eats meat, full stop either. If that's your choice and you're completely happy with it, then that's absolutely fine, obviously, and that's your choice. But as long as you're aware that it is a choice that you're making every day, and that you are actually happy with that choice and that it's not something that's sort of eating away at you, you know? Okay, I'll leave it there for the moment and talk to you again soon. Take care, guys.